And welcome to the Nasboys Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Mike, aka Mike Five Fan 101, with my good friend and co-host, Christian, aka C-Will.
What's up, everybody?
So today we are going to be talking about some sports as per usual on this podcast. We're going to kick things off with the NBA offseason. This has been a semi-crazy offseason. Some moves that were very predictable and some moves not so predictable. We're going to get started with the biggest news in the offseason, and that is Kevin Durant requesting a trade from the Brooklyn Nets. Personally, I don't know how I feel about this because I've heard rumblings that he's wanted out of Brooklyn, but then Brooklyn said he'll be back, and then Kyrie said that he didn't want to leave Durant hanging, and now Kyrie might be gone too, apparently. But Durant has been linked to the Phoenix Suns, Philadelphia 76ers, and the Miami Heat. So, Christian, where do you think he could go?
Personally, I'm tired of Durant moving teams. Just stay on a team. But he's only been with the Nets for like 2 years. I played with him for 2 seasons, so I find it crazy that he can't just stay on the Nets. But I mean, I guess he just wants to have stars around him so he can win a championship. And I'm tired of super teams, Mike, and I really am. The NBA is not the way it used to be. And the super teams are just not making it fun. I mean, yeah, it can be entertaining to watch, but it's just not fun because we all know who's going to win most of the time. And honestly, I don't see him going to the Heat, but that's definitely a possibility. Like, the thing is, the Heat would be giving up so much for him. They already have a solid team, even without him. They have a loaded bench. They have guys who can shoot the three, and they have some great forwards already. So why would they get rid of like Tyler Hero or Duncan Robinson and all of them, or PJ Tucker as well, for Kevin Durant? Now, Kevin Durant, there's also rumors of him going to Phoenix, which I could see him going to Phoenix because they don't have a small forward. So I feel like the Suns, if the Suns get him, they're definitely title contenders. But I do not want to see him go to the Suns or the Heat. I just want him to stay with the Nets.
Well, I can understand why he would want to leave the Nets because they have a good team, but they lost James Harden, and they didn't really play too much together with James Harden and Kyrie like everybody thought. So I can understand why he'd be frustrated with the Nets. But I completely agree. Kevin Durant has not won a championship like Giannis Antetokounmpo, for example. Giannis stayed loyal to the Bucks and waited for them to build a great team and kept improving his skill to lead the team so they could win a ring. Kevin Durant needs 2 other superstars around him to win a championship. He can't do it like other superstars can. Even the team that won the NBA championship recently, I forgot who that was. Oh, the Warriors. The Warriors. That's a blooper. The Warriors, Stephen Curry, besides the super team with Durant, they built their team with Draymond Green and Stephen Curry and Klay Thompson. And Stephen Curry stayed loyal. And they were loyal to him, and they built a good team. Kevin Durant needs a super team to do that. So I definitely do not want to see him on Phoenix. And Phoenix would be so stupid because the Brooklyn Nets asked for Devin Booker, and the Suns just extended Booker. So he's most likely not going to Phoenix. Philadelphia, I know you would probably like that, but that would be another super team. Not too hateful, but I still would kind of hate the super team.
Yeah.
I think Miami, that would be another super team, but I would rather him go to Miami than Phoenix because that would just be, game over, that major super team. I kind of want to see him go to a team like the Trailblazers. Damian Lillard needs help, and they need to repay Damian Lillard for all the times he stayed loyal to them, signed contracts with them, even when they're a mediocre team. So please get Damian Lillard some help. Get Kevin Durant on the Trailblazers, but I don't know what kind of assets they could give up. Obviously, I would love to see him on the Wizards. He'd come home, but I very much doubt that would happen.
Yeah, I mean that's a great destination. If Durant was going, where would be Portland? I feel like that would be pretty good, not only for him but for the league and for Damian. But Philadelphia, I do not see him going to Philadelphia. I am a Philadelphia fan, but I do not. I don't really want him in Philadelphia just because of all the stuff that's going on. It's just I don't know. It's just feel like so many players nowadays have such a big ego, and they
I
feel like they
agree.
can get whatever they want, and they get paid way too much.
Yes.
Especially like Jokic. You pay Jokic $250 million, which is ridiculous. I mean, there's other people that could use money, but I feel like that's it's crazy. I mean, yeah, players should get paid, but they shouldn't get paid that much money.
Mhm.
Now, and speaking of Brooklyn, TJ Warren went to Brooklyn. He was with the Pacers. And I do know that Jalen Brunson went to the Knicks. Now, a lot of people are hyping up the Brunson to the Knicks thing, which I could see. Brunson definitely is a solid guard, but I don't think he's a superstar guard that'll bring the Knicks back to the playoffs. But
Right.
they do have a young good core, and over time, I think that they will eventually get back to the playoffs. But what do you think about those two that I just mentioned?
Well, Brunson, I think he's a good player. He showed it a lot in the playoffs, and I think that it is a great pickup for New York. They've been looking for somebody like him, but he's not going to get them to the playoffs. I mean, they have Randall. He's okay. They have a couple other good players I can't name off the top of my head, but I don't think they're a playoff contender yet. I think that they need maybe one or two more pieces, and then they could be a playoff contender.
Yeah, I mean the Knicks. I think they have. Don't they have Obi Toppin and Mitchell Robinson?
They do have Obi Toppin and Mitchell Robinson.
I do. I do know this. Going back to trades with Durant, I do know there's a rumor about Scotty Barnes being involved in a trade if he wants to go to the Raptors. Which Durant to the Raptors would just be so weird. It doesn't look right. And then I know Serge Ibaka is staying with Milwaukee. But there's been a lot of trades going on. One of the big ones was Rudy Gobert, the Rudy Gobert trade. That is way too many pieces to give up for Rudy Gobert. You already have a center in Towns. Why would you trade like Malik Beasley? I think they traded Malik Beasley. Did they trade Beverly? And I don't know. They trade like 3 or 4 players for Gobert, which is kind of ridiculous.
I know they traded Beverly. I'm trying to find the post where the trade is at, but yeah, that was a very crazy trade. I think they did it because Gobert can be the center, and then you can play Towns at power forward, which is not a bad move because you got 2 great centers that can rebound and defend really well, and you can switch them in the paint a lot of the time, and Minnesota needs that. So I think that's a great move for the Timberwolves, and they re-signed Towns to a 4-year, $224 million supermax extension.
Yeah, I do know that the Jazz were in talks with DeAndre Ayton to replace Gobert. Yes. So if they do get Ayton, that'd be huge. The Suns still have a solid team even without Ayton, but getting rid of Ayton would be pretty bad for the Suns, especially if they're trying to lure Durant. But I feel like the Timberwolves definitely took an L on this trade because of how many pieces they gave up, including draft picks. Now, I remember one of the people they traded and that was Jared Vanderbilt. Jared Vanderbilt was a really solid big man off the bench.
Yeah.
So that was pretty bad for them as well. But yeah, they got rid of a good bit of players in that trade. Too much for Gobert. As much as Gobert is a good center, too much.
Yeah, they gave up Malik Beasley, Patrick Beverly, Walker Kessler, Jared Vanderbilt, and 4 first-round picks. That's insane. That is a lot of pieces. But I know Gobert, he has kind of a big contract, so I guess it makes sense. But yeah, that does hurt the Timberwolves, but it also helps with the Twin Towers there.
The Twin Towers, bruh.
No 9/11 joke.
Yeah, okay. Is there any other news going on in the NBA? I know the Summer League just started.
Well, we got Miles Bridges getting arrested for domestic violence.
Yeah, we did mention this a little bit last week about Bridges, if he could just stay good off the court, if he could just get out the pockets off the court. But here he is assaulting people, so that is not it. Very unfortunate. I mean, he was one of my favorite players too, and you know this, Mike. He was one of my favorite players, and it's just unfortunate. I mean, he should get banned from the NBA if it's in fact true. So we can't say if it's actually true or not at the moment, but basically, his wife, Michelle Johnson, she posted pictures of it. And I don't think will be able to show the pictures, of course, because we'll get the video taken down. But she suffered a fractured nose, a fractured wrist, a torn eardrum, torn neck muscle from being choked, and a concussion. So, Bridges, you're now one of my least favorite players in the league, or you should be in jail. And the Hornets, Bridges, this is what happens when players just get they let other people just influence them, and they want to conform to the world, and they just do what they think is okay, and they resort to violence and stuff. And I mean, he was talking about violence in his songs, so now we understand why. But it just sucks. I mean, hopefully he could change. His heart will change, and everything will change. I know his mother's probably. His family's probably really upset about it, because I know that he grew up in a Christian family, and it's just unfortunate. I mean, all we can do is really pray for him, but I mean, it's unfortunate, and also pray for his wife or all the injuries she had. I mean, it's just despicable. I mean, it really is.
Right. And Miles Bridges, he was looking to continue his great season from this past season, and now he can't, probably because he's going to get arrested. And it's very unfortunate, because Miles Bridges is a very, very good player. I'd love to have him on my team, but not anymore. That's terrible that he does that. And it's just ironic how we were just talking about how Bridges needs to chill with the off the court issues, and now all of a sudden he's getting arrested. And that's a second player from the Hornets that got arrested. Apparently, Montrezl Harrell as well got arrested a few weeks ago. So, not looking good for the Charlotte Hornets.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if that's all the NBA, but moving on, this weekend was UFC 276, if I'm correct. I did see some of like the highlights, but I know you watched probably most of the thing, and you have more of the insight. So I'll let you go ahead and take this one away.
Yes, thank you, Christian. So UFC 276 was a pretty interesting card. Cam watched it with me, but unfortunately, as you can see, he's not here today, so he cannot go over the thoughts with me. So I will go over it really, really quickly. So, for starters, Sean O'Malley versus Pedro Munoz. This was looking to be a pretty interesting fight. O'Malley was dominating the fight, but then he got stopped because he accidentally poked him in the eye, which I will show right here.
Oh. Sit right here. Just take a moment. Yeah? I'm going to have a doctor just come in and look at you, okay? It was back to back. That's it.
Begin to describe it.
It's an unintentional foul.
Ruling that it is an unintentional foul. Sean O'Malley and Pedro Munoz.
Jab. Double jab.
So that was very unfortunate. The fight was ruled a no contest. I was very disappointed because I wanted to see more of the fight with O'Malley, but just a terrible, terrible way to end the fight. It didn't look too terrible, but he definitely poked him in the eye, and I don't know why he was, defending with an open hand strike straight out like this, when he could have just backed up or used his arm and fist to block it like that.
Yeah.
So it just was a stupid move. Next up, we got Robbie Lawler versus Brian Barbins. I'm not entirely sure how you pronounce that guy's name, but Brian won the fight. Robbie Lawler, he looked good in the first few minutes, but then he gassed himself out, and he ended up looking really sluggish. The fight got stopped after Lawler just basically stopped punching. He just stood there like this and then was just getting punched in the head repeatedly. So that was very unfortunate. And then we got Sean Strickland versus Alex Pereira. This fight ended in a knockout. I'm not sure what round, because the place where we were watching it glitched, and then me and Cam were like, "Oh man, what if we just missed the knockout of the night?" And we did. We ended up missing the knockout. We saw Pereira celebrating and Bruce Buffer saying "winner by knockout." So we were very, very mad about that. But it was a very, very good punch. You will see that later in the video. And then we got the co-main event of the evening: Alexander Volkanovsky versus Max Holloway. This was a fairly interesting fight. Max Holloway kind of got messed up because he got his eye cut, like his eyebrow was cut to like here, and you could see the muscle, and it's just bleeding. They could not stop the bleeding, and a lot of people wanted them to stop the fight because it was just that bad. Here, I don't know if I can show the pictures, but it is really, really bad. But yeah, Volkanovsky, he took the win by decision and remains the featherweight champion. He fought in probably his best performance that we've seen of him. And then finally, Israel Adesanya, the main event versus Jared Cannonier.
Yeah, I saw that one.
Yeah, this was kind of a boring fight. Adesanya, he tries to point too much instead of just making like more entertaining strikes, but I both like and dislike that because he tries to get the points, but he's also running and it makes it hard. And Cannonier was not fighting that hard until like the last round. Then that's when he started trying to wrestle. And, you know, it's just unfortunate. He took the L. Adesanya won by decision, unanimous decision, I believe, too. So overall, it was a pretty mediocre card. I've seen better, but yeah, glad we were able to talk about it.
Yeah. Well, I did see some of the highs for that, but definitely there's some definitely interesting fights. Now, there's two more topics or two more sports I want to bring up before you get to the top plays this week. Which, by the way, there's a lot of great top 10 plays, so make sure you watch those. Yes. The USFL Championship was on, if I'm correct, it was on Saturday or Sunday, and it was between the Birmingham Stallions and the Philadelphia Stars. And this is the inaugural championship for the USFL, and it was won 33-30 by the Stallions. So the Birmingham Stallions are the USFL champions. They were down 23-20 sort of late in this game. They had their backup quarterback played, Alex McGo, I think. He was starting the most ever since the second quarter, or actually no, it was the third quarter when the starter Jamar Smith got injured. He had like a midsection injury, so he had to go out. And Alex McGo came in, and he played very well. Scooby Wright had a pick six in the game, which kind of helped. Why'd you raise your eyebrows like that? I'm sorry. But yeah, he
cut that out. My eyes were being a little weird, but anyways,
it's okay. I just thought you was because of the way I said something, but it's cool. But anyways, linebacker Scooby Wright, he had a pick six sort of late in the game, and it helped sealed it. It was actually final score 33-30. And yeah, the USFL, I know some people have been watching. I didn't really watch it, but yeah, good for that league, I guess. Now moving on to the Wimbledon and tennis. I've been keeping my eye a little bit on this. I haven't really watched, but I've been seeing some matches while I'm at the gym. They have it on the TVs. So Monday, Nick Kyrgios beat Brandon Nakashima in 5 sets to win and move on to the quarterfinals. And they're in the quarterfinals for the men's singles for the Wimbledon tennis. I know Rafael Nadal, he won in 3 sets on Monday. And I know, what's his name? Djokovic, I think is his name. Novak Djokovic, I think is how you pronounce it. He's in the semifinals now after beating Sinner today. And then those are the big names really for tennis. Now for the women's singles, I think I saw, hold on. I'm blowing the bracket, so I apologize. Maria moved on and beat Nimir to advance to the semifinals for the women's bracket. I'm trying to pull up the hold on. Okay, there we go. So Simone Halp, I know she's a very popular tennis player. She won in 2 straight sets to advance to the quarterfinals the other day. Elena Rybakina, who was the 17th seed, got beat by Petra Martic. No, she beat Martic. Apologize. And she moved on to the quarterfinals. I think Serena Williams got beat the other day too. But I may be incorrect on this, so I'm going to check. Wow, there's 17 matches today. But yeah, there's a lot of matches today on the day of the recording. So I'll keep you whenever the next sports episode comes out. Of course, we'll have the finals, but there's a lot of names. I know we don't really talk about tennis, so I just thought it's sort of a big event. So just bring it up. And I know golf, I think they're having either the U.S. Open or some big golf event this weekend. And I know they're having a celebrity golf match on Saturday with like Steph Curry and like Travis Kelce and a bunch of them. So that's all we got for sports news. Now the top 10.
Well, one thing I do want to mention is the hot dog eating contest. I don't know if this
counts. I forgot. Yeah.
I don't know if this counts as a sport, but it's on ESPN and it's a big deal every 4th of July. So why not talk about it? Joey Chestnut winning yet again, eating 63 hot dogs, and he probably could have gotten more hot dogs, but a stupid protester, I don't know what he was protesting. I heard it was about Smithfield, but he went on the stage in Darth Vader attire and went in front of Joey Chestnut. This is so wild to say, folks. He went right in front of Chestnut with a stupid sign. And Chestnut's over there. He's eating his hot dogs, and he just choke slams him to the ground like he's in the WWE, and then went back to eating his hot dogs. It was so funny. Chestnut, once again, like I mentioned, he won his 15th mustard belt with a broken leg as well. So props to Joey Chestnut. That was probably why he was upset. So now we can get into the top 10 plays.
I will say that, with Chestnut, very impressive. He's obviously the GOAT of the hot dog eating contest. He's won it almost every year, it seems like. And to do it with having a ruptured tendon too, it's pretty insane. And yeah, definitely very, very hard to eat that many hot dogs, and he did. But now I want to bring up this. I think we do this on the NASCAR podcast. We do a meme of the week.
Well, hold on, Christian. We got to cut this out if we're adding a meme of the week.
Oh.
We'll be right back.
So we're back. Now, we decided that we would do a meme of the week for the sports episodes as well, not only just for the NASCAR episodes.
Yeah.
So, yeah, memes. We all love memes here. So our meme of the week this week is of Joey Chestnut choking the protester, but instead of the sign being what it was, "This is our year," but the Cowboys logo. Absolutely hilarious. NFL Memes IG is definitely one of the funniest meme pages on Instagram. They have a couple other funny ones as well, like the Rams signing Kevin Durant. That was funny as well. It was a unanimous decision.
Yeah. I really like this Chestnut one because, first off, obviously Cowboys fans are delusional and everybody wants them to shut up. And for two, look at Chestnut's face. It's stuffed full of hot dogs, and he's just sitting there choking this dude out. It is absolutely hilarious. I really like that. So,
yeah, what a legend.
Yeah, so now let's get into the top plays. Coming in at number 10, we got Julio Rodriguez, first pitch homer.
Indy's right here. Say goodbye on the first pitch. Julio Rodriguez with a home run against the Mariners, a 1-0 lead.
At number 9, we got Alex Pereira's knockout of Strickland.
And at number 8, Gilbert Celestio, big throw to get the out.
Hit hard to center field. Santander to third. He's going to be waved around. Celestino's throw. A strong one to the plate. Got him! 2.
Next up is Isaiah Austin's lockdown defense. Now,
Bring the fire. bring it.
Chest. Oh, got to keep it inside that three. It's still live. Oh, battle. Oh, block. He's too big. He is too big. He's there. Bring the fire.
If y'all do not know, Isaiah Austin is playing in the Big Three League. And he was set to enter the NBA in 2014. He was definitely one of the top prospects and coming out of Baylor, but he was diagnosed with a mild form of, let me make sure I get this right, Marfan syndrome. And he wasn't able to play in the NBA. So he was cleared to play basketball over the last couple of years. He's been training and stuff. So it's really cool to see him doing things on the court, and I'm glad that he seems to be in better health.
Yeah, very happy to hear about Isaiah Austin. And another fact for you, if you guys don't know, he was one of the few players that was drafted by the NBA honorably, because there have been some players like Isaiah Austin and the guy from Kentucky that had died last year that were drafted into the NBA just because to give a tribute to them. So that's a very cool gesture by the NBA. You don't see that every day. But coming in at number 6, we got Julia Storylanco armbar.
Watch armbar here. Look, there it is. Look. Right away.
Oh,
Rose Clark didn't recognize. Yes, she's got that.
She's got it. That's it.
Stole, there's the top. Julia Storylanco.
That's what I'm saying. DC called it.
It's quite the name, but at number 5, we got Cody Clemens' big catch.
And at number 4, we got Jonathan Davis, big catch on the wall. And if you look closely, he kind of hit his head on the wall a little bit too, and his hat flew off.
Came in with a 376 team earned run average and the Rays 318.
Yeah, definitely a hard collision. But at number 3, we got Josh Bell's hustle play here, getting back to the back. This is very interesting one. Roll the clip.
Back pick over at first. Josh Bell hammers it down. Does he get him? Yes, he does.
Yes. And at number 2, we got Mike Yastrzemski jumping catch.
Line drive to right. Yastrzemski's got it! He snow-coned it for out number 2.
At number 1, there's 2 in my opinion, but one of them we're just going to say honorable mention was St. Louis Cardinals back-to-back home runs against the Phillies.
In the 2-1, Arenado out to left, barreling back, looks up, and it's gone. A line shot, home run, Nolan Arenado. In the 2-1 pitch to Nolan Gorman. And Gorman hits it out to deep right. The Cardinals have gone back-to-back. 3-0 St. Louis. Nolan Gorman with home run number 7. Field is deep in a 1-2. And Yepes hits it out to deep left field. It is gone! 3 consecutive home runs! Arenado, Gorman, Yepes. Carlson makes it 4 in a row! Way out of here! 4 consecutive home runs for St. Louis!
But at number 1, we have Moses Moody's insane falling shot in the Summer League game.
42-32. Oh, there's Moody.
Yes, how could I forget that one back-to-back homer? So that's actually really impressive. I mean, I've never really seen that done too many times in baseball. But both those plays definitely amazing. They're tied for number 1 in my opinion. So with that will conclude this week's episode of the Sports Podcast. Thank you guys so much for watching. Comment, like, subscribe. Make sure you guys follow our socials. And we will see you guys in the next episode. Peace.
See y'all.